Hello, Chuckey-Doak. My name is Bobby Nicholson, and I'm the president and founder of Outliers Advantage ACT Prep Academy. I'm going to be leading your ACT prep over these next 3 months. And I'm going to ask that you let go of any preconceived notions you have about the ACT. I've worked with more than 1,000 students on their ACTs over the last 10 years. And my experience is that almost all students, except for those with learning disabilities, are capable of at least a 28 on the ACT. Just because you're capable does not mean that is where you will end up. But the vast majority of you who do what I ask will achieve at least a 5-point composite increase. This video is designed to get you excited about your ACT prep and explain what you need to do between now and then to set yourself up for success. I'm going to start off by telling you a little about my background. It's probably very different than you are expecting. I was actually the worst student ever when I was your age. I never went to class. I had to retake Algebra 1 5 times when I was in high school, and I eventually dropped out of Farragut High School, never finished. And I tried to make it in the real world without having a high school diploma, and found that things were not going to go as I had hoped. So I became uber motivated to do something with my life. I got my GED, enrolled at Mississippi State, and was fortunate enough to have mentors take me under their wings and teach me how to be successful at school and life. And it worked. I made almost perfect straight A's. When I was at Mississippi, I was president of my student body. I made it on USA Today's All Tennessee academic team. And after I graduated from Maryville College, I won the International Student Excellence Award for the transition that I had from high school to college. And I say all that to say that regardless of where you are right now on the ACT, in your academics, in your life, you can be in a very different place if you are willing to do what it takes. And I want to show you what is possible if you are willing to do what it takes. And as we are looking at some of my prior students, I want you to find some students who are around where your ACT score is and what they were able to achieve. And I want you to put yourself in their shoes and imagine what it would feel like to have that ACT score for yourself. So this is Kate Ash from Farragut, 9-point increase from a 21 to a 30. Chad Arrows from LNN, 9-point increase, 21 to a 30. Ariana Torres from HVA, 9-point increase, 22 to a 31. Brody Young from HVA, 9-point increase, 23 to a 32. Justin Pollock from HVA, 9-point increase, 24 to a 33. Nicholas Gilbert from Oneida, 9-point increase, 25 to a 34. Sarah Perez from Catholic, 9-point increase, 25 to a 34. Emma Poindexter from Farragut, 9-point increase, 26 to a 35. Kenzie Hemsley from HVA, 10-point increase, 18 to a 28. Jacob Cohen from Farragut, 10-point increase, 22 to a 32. Matthew Bringle from Grace, 10-point increase, 23 to a 33. Holly McKinney from HVA, 11-point increase, 20 to a 31. Eddie Chowshu from LNN, 11-point increase, 21 to a 32. Grant Coggin from Farragut, 11-point increase, 21 to a 32. Arpit Patel from LNN, 12-point increase, 21 to a 33. Claire Grun from Farragut, 13-point increase, 21 to a 34. Emily Seibel from Carnes, 2-point increase, 24 to a 36. Macy Hudson, LNN, 34 to a 36. Crawford Hovis from Webb, 33 to a 36. And Mr. Davis Garrett from Lansing Christian, 10-point increase from a 26 to a 36. So regardless of where you are now, it is time to start believing bigger. And that is what this program is all about. So now I want to take a little time to talk about why it's worth it to put in what it's going to take. And it's going to take a lot of work. But we're going to talk a little bit about dropout rates, the financial benefits of college, and scholarships. So I'm going to start off by talking about dropout rates. And I'm going to give you about 10 seconds to think through the answer to these two questions. Please use that time to come up with an answer before I give you the correct answer. If you need more time, please pause the video. What is your guess of the percentage of students who start at a 4-year college who drop out? The second question, what is your guess of the percentage of students who started a community college who drop out? So repeat those again. Percentage of students who started a 4-year college who will drop out. Percentage of students who started a community college who will drop out. %40 of students who started a 4-year college drop out, around 40%. Around 60% of students who started a community college will drop out. And for students who test into a developmental class, which typically means they score around a 21 on any given section of the ACT, 75% of students who test into a developmental class will never graduate from any school ever. And I tell you those numbers for 3 reasons. I want you to know that getting a higher ACT score is about so much more than just getting a higher ACT score. This is about setting yourself up for success in life. And I also hope you take 2 other things away from this information. That you cannot do what most college students do if you want to be successful. And last, I hope you see that now is the time to start prepping to be successful at the next level. I also want to point out that I'm not talking bad about community college. I went to a community college. I tested into all of the developmental classes. I'm just sharing this truth with you that nobody else wants to talk about. And if you currently find yourself at a 21 or below on the ACT, it's time to step up to the plate and change the way that you are training for the ACT and for your academics in general, probably. The next thing I talk about is a little more positive, money. There are 2 decisions that you're going to make in these next few years that will have a bigger financial impact than any other 2 decisions you will ever make. I want to take a minute, come up with your guess as to what one of those decisions is. So the question is, what are the 2 decisions you will make that will have a bigger financial impact than almost any other decisions you will make in your life? The 2 decisions that will have the biggest financial impact on most people's lives are the major they pick and the college they choose. The major a person picked trumps all, but within the same major, the college matters more than you probably realize. And we know this because the Foundation on Research of Equal Opportunity just completed a comprehensive study on more than 30,000 majors to find the estimated expected earnings at age 25, 45, and the lifetime return on investment. And they found some interesting stuff, but I'm going to share a few things that stand out most. First, they found that 25% of degrees have a negative return on investment, meaning students who pick those majors from those schools will make less over the course of their lifetimes on average than students who only have a high school diploma. But on the flip side, they also found that 10% of degrees have more than a $1 million return on investment above and beyond what someone who only has a high school diploma would make. And so we're going to take a second and look at the data that they have shared with us. And I encourage you to come back later and check this information out on your own time. and you can go through to all the different schools that you might want to consider, and you can just see how much you can expect to earn from those schools with those degrees. So at the top of our chart here, we have the US $1 million plus return on investments. So you can just see the school, the major, average earnings at age 25, 45, and the lifetime return on investment. All of these charts are easily searchable for the school or the major, and you can also click on the headers to rearrange the data according to that. We've also organized this by Tennessee, so you can see from best to worst return on investments of all the major degrees from all the different schools in Tennessee. And then we have all 30,000 of the studied majors on the bottom section for you to review if you're thinking about going out of state. And I do want to emphasize that these are the actual majors from those schools. So you can compare if you are thinking about majoring in a certain field, how much you will make on average, depending on which school you get the degree from. So very interesting data. I hope you will take some time to find the majors you are interested in and play around with that, maybe add a little extra motivation, start thinking of some stretch schools that would be a good fit for you. The last thing I want to talk with you about is scholarships. So even though most schools in America have gone test optional, almost all of them still require the ACT for their main merit-based scholarships. And the cool thing is that you probably need a much lower ACT score than you realize, and will be able to win that scholarship money. For example, Maryville College, for a 19 on the ACT with no GPA requirement, will give $18,000 a year, $72,000 over 4 years. There are just as many awesome opportunities at the other schools in Tennessee and across the nation. On our website, you can also find this. It's called the It Pays to Prep Scholarship Guide. And all you do is scroll over to the left-hand column to find your GPA and ACT scores to see how much money you would get at these different schools if you apply there. Most of these scholarships are guaranteed. We tell you right here, if they are guaranteed, that means that if you have the GPA and the ACT score, you're guaranteed that money as long as you get everything turned in on time at that school. We've also included HOPE and GAMS on here so that you can have that added in. Tells you how much is remaining after achieving that scholarship level for you to pay per year at that school. So even though some of these scholarships are huge because the tuition and fees are so much higher, it might be a better idea to go to one of the other schools depending on what your goals are. So we'll hope you take some time to scroll through this. We also have an out-of-state scholarship guide. If you just click on the It Pays to Prep America portion right there. And our website is actprep.com, which I will link in the show notes below as well. But please take some time to look over that between now and the start of class. Give yourself a little more motivation on why it's so important to get this ACT score up. All right, the last part of our section is going over what you need to do between now and the start of class. There are really only 3 things that you need to do. First, prepare your schedule for 1 hour of homework per day, 5 days per week for the full 3 months. Those who put in the most hours will win. We find that on average, most students will increase $100 an hour for every hour that they put in to ACT prep. Most students will end up increasing at least $2,500 per point on average. So it is very worth it once you get into the scholarship money. Next thing we need you to do are download 3 apps on your phone. You need to download the Google Drive app, the Google Docs app, and the Google Sheets app. So again, the Google Drive app, the Google Docs app, and the Google Sheets app. And last but not least, if you have not taken an official ACT in the last year, we need you to take an at-home practice test. So in the video description below, I will include a link to a practice ACT test. Please print that off before you take it. In the best case scenario, you'll have a parent administer that test for you. They should watch you while you take the test and grade it in front of you immediately after you were done. This will add pressure to make it more like the real testing situation. Please use the bubble sheet provided for your answer sheet and make sure you have all of your answers transferred before the time is up. You have 45 minutes to do the English section, 60 minutes to do the math section, 35 minutes to do the reading section, and 35 minutes to do the science section. In the best case scenario, you will do it all in one sitting, but if that is not possible, that is okay as well. The answers and conversion charts are also linked below. To figure out your composite score, all you need to do is add all 4 sections together and divide by 4. Please grade your test and convert your score after you're done. Then I need you to email me your name and your sub-scores to bobby@actprep.com. I also need you to send me your goal score that you want to hit by the end of the program, which should be 5 to 8 points higher than what you score on this practice test. But the bigger increase you tell me you want to achieve, the more hours you're going to need to put in. And I'm actually going to send you a report of where you need to be every week of the program to be on track with the goal score that you've given me. Please also bring this test and your answer sheets with you on the first day of class. So in summary, to get yourself motivated, we hope you'll check out the ROI calculator and the It Pays to Prep scholarship guides on our website at actprep.com. You can just click on It Pays to Prep on the top or ROI on the top to get to those. If you are serious about hitting a 5-point increase or greater, you will need to prepare your schedule to be able to do 1 hour per day of homework 5 days per week. You will also need to download the Google Drive app, the Google Docs app, and the Google Sheets app on your phone. You need them on your phone. Last, you'll need to take the full ACT and email me your scores and your goal score to bobby@actprep.com. If you've already taken an official ACT over the last year, those scores are better than these scores, so you don't need to take this practice test. You can just email me those scores instead, and better yet, a screenshot of your super score at this point. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I am looking forward to seeing you here in class soon.